Starting strong with the Longines Admiral L3.603.4, one of Seiko's most advanced product. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Mad Corner here, and for this episode, we are in a place that is being neglected by most travelers every time they go to Japan, and I am not an exception to that because every time we check Japan, there are three places that comes into our mind first, and that's going to be Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto. Behind that golden triangle, you can find Nagoya. For the lack of better term, let's just say that it is like the middle child of Japan because it's not really getting that much of attention. I also disagree every time they say that Nagoya is boring because there's a lot of things to do here, especially in Sakae. If you want to escape the city, you can also check Shirakawa-go. But we have to stick with our plan for this episode, and that's going to be thrifting here in Nagoya. There's a good chance that you already know the place, and it's none other than Book of Super Bazaar here in Sakae. I do not have 100% confidence when it comes to their watch selection, but hopefully, as of today, March 19, 2026, things might be different from our last visit. On top of that horology hobby, we're also going to check other stuff that are available inside. We are talking about designer bags, anime figures, some clothes, and anything that we can find inside. So if you are interested with those things, stick around until the end of the video, and I'm not going to waste any more of your time. It's a bit windy here, so let's go. As per usual, we're going to add the address on the description box down below so you can check it for yourself. I forgot to mention, just go to the 8th floor and that's where the hunt begins. Starting strong with the Longines Admiral L3.603.4, which is part of the long-running Admiral line, a collection known for blending sporty chronograph features with classic Swiss elegance. It is also being called as the Admiral Chronograph or Admiral 5 stars, which can be seen on the right side of the watch. It also houses the legendary automatic caliber L674.3. It is a very respected durable Swiss chronograph movement. It also has a case size of 40 to 42 mm with a sapphire crystal glass. For some weird reason, the day-date window on its 3 p.m. looks very refined compared to the other watches that we normally encounter. Duty-free price, it can be yours for 100,000 yen. That's around 630 US dollars, translating to 37,800 PHP. It has a very clean white dial inside, and the bezel is smooth silver as you can see. However, for its condition, I'd say this sits at 8.5 out of 10. So there are some minor scratches that I can see right now. This is a good reason how come watch hunting in unconventional places around Japan makes things more beautiful, because out of nowhere, we are seeing the Seiko SBLA 035, which is part of the bold and unconventional gallant line. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, so forgive me if I'm butchering the word or the pronunciation. Let me know in the comment section, guys. This particular model is a spring drive GMT combining mechanical engineering with quartz accuracy. There's no playful nickname behind it like the turtle or samurai, but that's its personality. It does not need those things because, as you can see, it has a daunting presence by just looking at it. Anyway, behind its swirly second hand, it has the caliber 5R66 spring drive GMT. It's a hybrid system, mechanical plus quartz regulation. The signature feature, you ask? perfectly smooth gliding second hand. It has a case size for around 43 to 44.5 millimeter and the thickness 16 to 17 millimeter. And as you can see on your screen right now, I'm not kidding, it's thick. This timekeeper can also accompany you for around 200 meters under the water, and I feel like this will not leave your wrist if you're that kind of person who loves to have that attention every time you walk in the room. In short, this is not a subtle watch. It's meant to stand out. So, for 190,000 yen, you can take this one home. That's under 1,200 USD, while in PHP, around 72,000 pesos. Sinn 157M is making a surprise here. It's a vintage German pilot slash military chronograph watch from around 1980s to 1990s. Inside of it is the caliber Lemania 5100 automatic chronograph movement. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the word again or if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, so let me know in the comment section. However, it has a 48-hour power reserve, and it is also known as one of the toughest chronograph movements ever made, used in military and aviation watches. It also seems like it has a 40 to 43 millimeter diameter, and thickness plays around 15 millimeter. As you guys all know, I am a huge fan of matte black dials, and this is one of those. The high contrast white markers are complementing the entire face of it, and it also has the red chronograph accents, which makes things more beautiful. If you're going to remove the tax, you can buy this for 250,000 yen. That plays around 1,570 US dollars, and in Philippine peso, around 94,500 PHP. that kind of sums up the entire watch section of this book of Super Bazaar. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it or I'm not going to downplay it. Cut things short, it means that the entire selection is a bit good or better compared to our last visit. And don't get me wrong, it's not going to be the best out there as well. Let me reiterate things. Today is March 19, 2026. By the time that you are going to visit this place, there's a huge chance that the inventory and my experience will be different from yours. But at least now you have a good idea of what to expect in this place. Anyway, enough of me yapping about it. Let's move now to the designer bag section. Boys and girls, here's the reality of this thing. They have a better selection or inventory of bags compared to the watches. Is that a good or a bad thing? Well, it really depends to your taste. I did not show all of the bags available here, but I'm telling you they have a better volume compared to what I was able to show you. Safe to say, let's just leave it to your imagination. Now, let's head over to the anime figures. Honestly speaking, boys and girls, I really do love doing this part of our travel or our thrifting experience because checking out anime figures like these things kind of wakes up the kid inside me that has been sleeping every time. So it's safe to say as well that this is like the not so serious part of the episode, but I'm quite sure some of you guys are collecting this kinds of stuff as well. After visiting more than like 20 Book of Super Bazaars across the entire country of Japan, here is my honest opinion about this place. I feel like there are two types of Book of Super Bazaars. Number one is this place. It lives inside the mall. And unfortunately, I totally feel like the prices here are quite higher compared to the other Book of Super Bazaars that lies outside the city. And they have their almost, let's say, own floor and they're not inside a mall. Look no further, Book of Super Bazaar, Omiya Saitama. They always have the best price every time you visit them, but you really have to travel like more than an hour to be there. Most probably, that's what you have to sacrifice if you want to find the best possible deals. For example, this Luffy, it's at 1,800. Back there, you can find one at around 1,300 or 1,200 yen. But don't get me wrong, I totally understand that some of us have limited time when it comes to traveling, and we cannot spend like 3 or 2 hours of travel time just to find the best possible deals. So we resort to some places that we have to pay that extra premium to compensate the time that we can allot. Again, there's nothing wrong on that. Whatever works for you, go for it. Folks, that kind of sums up our entire experience inside the Book of Super Bazaar in Sake in Nagoya, Japan. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not the worst thing out there, but it's not going to be the best. So it kind of plays somewhere in the middle. However, in this episode, we prove that if you're a bit lucky on the day that you visit, you might find something interesting, like, for example, the watches that we encountered from Seiko, that's Sinn, and even some of the Tag Heuers. Those are way above our expectations. Just to add, if you want real-time updates from me every time we travel for the watches that we encounter, please follow me on Instagram. And if you want to share something from your end, like your recent purchases or anything that is remotely connected to our channel, please do check our Facebook group too. Don't worry, because I'll be putting both links on the description box down below, and they will be pinned in the comment section. One more thing, if you're not yet subscribed in our channel, please do hit the subscribe button down below. It will really mean a lot to me, and you're going to help me more in creating contents like this. Just like what I always say, if you're not yet ready to do that, it's totally fine. You being here, watching this video, spending your time with our content, that's more than enough already. In the next few days, hopefully I'm going to see you again, because we're going to upload something new. I don't know how to end it. That's it. Thank you for watching. Mad Corner, I'm out.